Francine.
Hello, hi everyone. If you're just joining us, we're about to do the virtual brewery art walk. Hello, hello. Go ahead and find the chat option, guys, if you're just logging on. You can go in the chat and just type in where you're joining us from. Hi. Hi, Jessica. Good morning. Oakland, California, Semi Valley. In the chat, you can put everyone, so all the other participants can see your comments. You can do all panelists and attendees. Hello, hello, welcome.
Victoria. No, I'm sorry, Francine. Francine. Yeah, I don't know.
Amazing. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Brewery Art Walk, our first live virtual, well, I guess it's the second day, but it's our first weekend of the LA Art Walk, virtual edition. A little bit about the brewery. This has been called the largest art colony in the world. It's 16 acres, 23 buildings. There's over 550 artists living here at any given time, all different medias, dance, performance art, galleries, sculpture, mixed media, photography, painters, digital. We're going to see a little slice of people today. Our first artist is Christy. Wait, Francine.
Francine.
Is Francine. Hi, Redondo Beach. It's overcast, but don't worry, we're going to see some cool art inside, so it doesn't even matter. All right, let's get started. I'm going to take you guys inside the 1918 building. Hello. Hi, Jessica. So we're going to see, this artist does mixed media, costume design, painting, silkscreen, sculpture, and some 3D printing. Hello. Hi, Francine.
Hello, good morning.
You're our first artist of the day.
Okay. So my name is I am an artist and designer with paintings and yeah.
This is a beautiful space.
What you're interested in.
Nice, and we have some, is this our time clicking away here?
Yes. Yes, it's that's the time. Yes, on the ceiling.
You want to tell us about these pieces?
Yes, so these pieces are corsets. They have been made with plants. So here you have artichoke leaves, and they have been dried and dyed and all that. And the corsets are on measurements. This one is a corset with crystals. And yes, let me show you the front here. And this one is cellulose fibers. I love nature, so my work is quite often inspired by nature. Like you have leaves here that I have molded and created, and I even at some point made a costume with
Oh, wow.
leaf that I wanted to show you. So this there is a reflection of the glass, but this is Gila. She's a performer from Cirque du Soleil, and the photo has been done with Vern Evans, who is an artist, extraordinary photographer from the brewery. So here we have the leaves. This one is in latex. They are rhubarb leaves, and this one is in silicone.
Oh, they're so
And
cool.
yes, and I love the texture because this texture is almost like vein of the human body. You know, it's just
Yeah. And there's a little glitter too.
yes, everywhere, a little glitter.
Beautiful.
So here you have maybe I will show you my new pieces here. These are painting, silk screening with 3D printing component. I created this component like claws or pieces of like aggressive material. I like the contrast of the aggressivity, and also here you can see the color, this bright color, like almost like candy. Actually, this looks almost like a pill, that you have to swallow, and that's what it is. And this one is a little more.
Yeah, these are like little animal, like little cat claws.
Yes. Yes, and also that's great because everyone can just, let their imagination go where they would like to, give name to these pieces. So here it's a collection of small pieces, and I call them my happy pieces, especially these here, because they have a lot of colors, and I can see that lately I've been more interested in using colors like pink and orange, yellow, and also always a little bit touch of glitter, of crystals. Who does not like a little sparkle, right?
Yeah. Oh, and this one's kind of fabric too.
Yes, so it has a base in velvet dévoré, which is pretty complex. And then I just, used both. I love actually the contrast between the brocade pattern, it's like even here, that's a medieval pattern. Like I grew up in a medieval village in Switzerland, so I love this medieval pattern, but then inserting like technological elements in that as well, which gives this kind of really unusual contrast. All right, so here you have a few paintings, still texture and patterns, and these paintings are not finished. This one is finished, but the others are actually, they're work in progress, and I like to work on several paintings together because I like use different medium like airbrush or what comes to my mind when I start painting. And they are like human warriors. Maybe they're a little bit autobiographic, like this one is a cow, from Switzerland. And then I have this barbed wire, like I love this barbed wire. We had this around the house when I grew up, and like, watch out, the barbed wire, it's dangerous. Okay, well then. And then the barbed wire became an electric fence. But yes, this one is kind of like a mummy imprisoned, and I love this dramatic aspect of, like when you're depressed and you just don't feel confident. So I like the contrast between happiness and dance. Here it's a start really, but I love the Renaissance feel, this choucroute hair, like sauerkraut, we call that. And, they had this huge hair and these hats and all this. So This is my happy piece.
We got a question actually from one of the people here saying, do you live here and work here, or is this just your studio?
Oh, that's my studio. And then I travel as well. And yes.
So you live somewhere else, or you also live here?
Yeah, I live here.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. So another answer to that question is most of these artists live and work here at the brewery. That's one of the things that makes it so special. It's
It's very
a live
special.
work space.
Absolutely, yes. And these here are alien fabric, and the alien fabric is also kind of interesting because it's creative. You have to create something that is not really pleasant, and it's ugly even. So that's kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, very cool.
All right, and
oh, here's another corset.
Yes, this one is.
Comments I wanted to read you. Someone was saying the unique material, Jessica says, and Danielle Labar says, wow, those are gorgeous, and they're made of artichoke leaves, so that's really cool.
Yes.
I love this one too because it lights up.
Perfect. Thank you. I love the comments. That's wonderful. Okay, and here I have a little collection for the future. So basically, this is I am creating of jewelry with the 3D printing, and also I'm inserting now. This is a new neo crystals from Swarovski, and I like this neon. So my next collection is going to be like fabrics and scarves and jewelry pieces and all these items.
This is so cool. And these are some of your other materials that you made that are
Yes,
hanging
these are
here?
materials created for a theatrical project. It was a project we created in China, and this is a tattoo pattern. It's a Maori tattoo pattern, and that's yes, also always with the crystal because it's very effective on the stage.
Yeah, and this over here too.
Yes, this one is also some fiber pattern.
Monica says she loves how many different materials and media that you work with.
Oh, thank you.
You're inspirational, she says.
Okay,
thanks,
yes.
guys.
So, and yes,
cool.
also here, this is another one big panel.
Beautiful. So cool.
Okay, thank you very
All
much.
right. Well, have a great day. We'll see you later.
Yes, thank you very much. Great look. I love your outfit.
Oh, thanks.
I'm not a dancer, so it's like, okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. We'll see you soon. All right, guys. So we're going around back to see some brewery residents that have been here for a long time.
Marshall's photography.
Yeah, Marshall's photography. We're going to go around back and enter through the garden. So like I was saying before, this is the largest art colony in the world, it has been said, 550 artists. It's a live-work colony. It was actually, in 1903, it was a Con Edison electric steam and power plant, and a beverage company called Eastside Beverage. But then PBR Brewery bought it, which is where it gets its name, the brewery, Arts Brewery. Was bought by Carlson Industries in 1979. And they were the ones that actually subdivided the buildings and converted everything into artist lofts. The family had a sculptor in their family and someone that owned a circus company. So they were into the arts, and they actually had purchased it before LA County passed the residency code, which actually allowed artists to Oh, it looks like she came back. Hey guys, are we back? Hello. Do we have it?
Yeah, we're back.
Okay, great. Hello. Sorry, it looks like we dropped out. I don't know if it was a service thing or, but we're back.
All right, welcome
So
back,
keep
everybody.
it going. Yay. Oh, I love this one. This one was not here yesterday.
Yeah, so I've been changing up some of the images as you come through, because you've come through a couple of times, trying to keep it a little fresh. This was actually a shot in Encinitas, just SoCal, but down the 5. And it was an amazing little spot. There was a bunch of surfers around and everything, but the waves were just so powerful crashing on these rocks. It was super, super amazing.
Yeah, I love all the colors there.
So
I'll show some of your little prints. This is gorgeous.
yeah, so this was in Slot Canyons.
So they're saying redo your intro because I guess they missed you. So we'll start over.
All right. So I'm Marshall. I'm a photographer here at the brewery, and I've been here for about 3.5 years. It's an exciting place, and it is a super, super cool place if you're a creative, because there's so many people here that it's always inspiring. So it's an awesome place to be, and welcome to my studio. I live and work here, and as you guys can see with the enlarger, I do actually do darkroom film still.
Oh, and we have someone saying, hi, Marshall, this is Pharrell. And Pharrell
Hi.
says you're one of their favorite photographers.
Nice. Well, thank you. And so this is a negative from my Pasadena Lower Arroyo bridges. And you can see this is the final print here from this negative.
Cool.
And the film and the prints were processed right here in the studio.
And so you make like your own little dark room in
I
here?
make my own little dark room in here. I'm very fortunate that I have a nice big window, but this place is still a little dark. And that actually works to my benefit because I have a very heavy curtain, theatrical curtain, that I'm able to close. And when I close it, it actually becomes, the whole space becomes a dark room.
That's really cool.
So the prints on this wall were done on metal, which is a really cool process. The color, all the pigment and everything is, it's a chemical reaction actually to the metal. And it reflects more light than paper does. And there's no glass in front of it. So everything is just super vibrant and super crisp and clean from that standpoint. So it's a very unique and different type of way to display a photograph.
And do you make these here too on the metal?
So I do not. I send these out. I don't have the.
No, it sounds complicated. Chemical reactions. Okay.
Well, it's not that hard to do. It's just having the equipment that's big enough to print this big. Because these are 30-inch by 45-inch, and they start with a die print, and I just don't have the equipment here to do that. Part of the process also means that you have to heat things up to 400 degrees, and my neighbors might not appreciate that.
Let me get this one in here.
Awesome. So this one's actually really cool because you get some ghost people over here because this is a long exposure. So there were some people that were moving in and out. They're a little hard to see on the smaller print, but they're there. And that blurred the water, the long exposure. And the nice thing, so this person that's standing right here is actually really interesting as well, because that's the next artist, which is Teal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so she was outstanding there watching the sunset, and I was able to get a photograph of that and put somebody in that space, which just kind of adds that man versus nature aspect, which is in a lot of my photography.
And we have Heather saying that she loves the ghost effects.
Nice. Thank you, Heather.
Yay. All right. Well, we're going to head next door. Thank
All
you
right.
for showing everything. And we'll see you
Yeah.
in not that long.
Thank you for coming by, and we'll see you on the next trip.
Oh, let's
And
see.
this is JoJo.
Hi, JoJo. Oh, we're going to get to meet the brewery dogs.
Hi.
Hi.
Good morning. Come on in.
This is Teal. Oh.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Happy Art Walk. Thanks for joining us. My name's Teal. This is my studio. I have two creative businesses I run out of here. I have my art practice, which is the bulk of what you can see here and what I've been at for quite a while. And I recently started a design studio business where we design fabric and wallpaper and some gift type things. And the designs are based off of my art. So that's called Pearl and Mud. You can see I put a little sign up right there.
Oh, here we go. Pearl and Maud is the design and Teal Hathaway is the artist.
Yeah. Yeah. So here we go. These three pieces, I'll stand next to them for scale.
Oh, you just got an outfit compliment too.
Well, thank you so much. It's my Sunday best for you guys. Actually, this is one of my Pearl and Mud fabric designs. So there you go. Maybe next spring, keep an eye out for these. Maybe I'll make a bunch. Working on it. So yeah, these three paintings are the three paintings that I made just as soon as the California lockdowns were announced, and we were all at home a lot. And so streetlights are something that I have painted quite a bit of. I'm interested in architecture and the built environment, and streetlights play a big role in that. They also play a large role in Los Angeles history. We have more streetlight designs than any other city in the world. And there's a lot to them. They're romantic and they're functional, and they increase security and safety, and sometimes they blind you in the middle of the night when they shine in through your bedroom window. Who knows? But I think a lot of them are really beautiful. So these were ones. This particular design is called the Wilshire Special, and it's the old lights that line Wilshire. And there are still a few of them left between downtown and MacArthur Park. But I've painted this one a few times, and in fact, one version of this painting is in the collection of the.
I'm sorry, I wish I knew. Something very famous.
Yeah, totally. It's really important, and I'm totally blacked out on it now that we're live. And these two are on the brewery property here, because I was pulling from local stuff, so I had local content. So subsequently, I ran out of content. I ran out of streetlights in my neighborhood, and I asked people to start sending me photos of their streetlights that they were seeing in their neighborhoods and their walks. So these are some of the small paintings on paper that I created.
And you're using that metallic paint that we were talking about.
This is actually gold leaf.
Oh.
This is all gold leaf on paper and acrylic. I am experimenting with metallic paints for some prints that I want to hand embellish, and trying to figure out the best options for that. Making slow progress. But yeah, this kind of shows you, this array of types of lights that are all over the place. And I love the color. I think the color is joyful and it's meaningful, and people resonate with certain colors. They have certain meanings and certain effects on people that is valuable. Colors really,
Your palette.
and my paint palette.
Yeah, and I love how your studio's set up too.
Oh, well, thanks. You got to keep it all accessible. So yeah, oh, and I made Christmas ornaments this year, which last night when you came by, I was putting ribbons on. I am still putting ribbons on the Christmas ornaments, but they're really pretty, and I'm super excited about them. So those are just available on my website as of a couple days ago.
These are so great. Show these.
So these are the remaining from a series of 12 that I did for an installation. These are street lights but abstracted. So each element, like this element is actually a shadow from a street light somewhere in Los Angeles. Each element is taken from a local form and abstracted into these compositions. And what's neat about these is that they're narrow and tall, and some people are intimidated by that, but they actually are really flexible. They hang in really cool spaces between doorways or in corners of rooms.
And these are plexi, right?
These are plexi. I've had them installed as room dividers, or they can kind of create their own architecture in space because they can be double-sided and they're a little translucent. So they are also built to hang from a ceiling or a wall. So you have options there. So these are actually really fun, flexible pieces to move around and hang in interesting ways.
We have some comments here. Derek says, at midnight, teal can often be seen free solo climbing to the top of local streetlights and examining them with British monocles.
He's right. He's totally right.
Stuart's asking how tall they are. He says, those are awesome. How tall are they?
Thank you, Stuart. I think they're 7'6". I don't remember quite off the top of my head. They fit under an 8-foot ceiling with enough room to not scrape the ceiling and floor. And the top wires that they're suspended from are adjustable.
We also have Cindy saying, it's so nice to see you, Teal, in your studio.
Thank you, Cindy. Hi.
Monica says that your studio is full of light, literally and figuratively.
I've spent a lot of time trying to get enough light in here.
I'm gonna show some more of these guys.
So yeah, these are another series of, again, the abstract streetlights. I really am interested in kind of taking the pieces apart and putting them back together in interesting ways. And these are more architectural features. I mean, these are totally over the top plaster ornament I took these from some French chateau somewhere. I was totally enchanted with how organic this guy a few hundred years ago was able to make plaster. And I wanted to see if I could capture some of that while keeping it loose and abstract. And so I had a really good time with these. So architectural details, again, like classical molding. You can kind of see the difference between these two. I'm really pushing towards trying to be a little looser and freer because I'm really interested in the classical forms, but they require being very tight. To be true to the art form, it's very craftsmanship oriented. And as part of what I love about it, but it also is really appealing to me to try and maintain that form and that precision while getting as loose as I possibly can. And that's I wrestle with that a lot.
Okay, I'm gonna get a close-up of your website right here.
There you go.
That's so cute.
Christmas ornaments.
All right, well, thank you so much, Teal. This place is great.
Thank you so much.
And Katrina says that she loves that green one. What was the rest of that? Loves the green
down there?
that you're working on right now, the one on the easel.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
And Cindy loves
It's
the
available.
ornaments. Amazing.
What did Cindy say?
She loves the ornaments.
Nice. Oh, thanks, guys. Thank
All
you so
right,
much for
bye.
joining
We'll
us.
see you later
Have a great
today.
day.
Great. Cool. Awesome.
Carl Smith, architect.
We're going to see a totally different kind of artist, an architect. Carl Smith. I think it's Telemachus. I might be saying that wrong. He'll introduce himself. We're going over to the side of the brewery, so we're leaving this 16 building, heading over here where you can see some artists have created little backyards. There's some storage shipping containers over here. They'll probably have some goodies in there. Hello, hello. Hello.
Hi guys, how's it going?
Great, how are you?
Welcome to Brewery Artwalk. How are you? So my name is Carl Smith. Welcome to Telemachus Studio. I am an architect, and so I guess I'm here to illustrate some of the diversity of work, design that happens here at the brewery. So this is my office. I run with my wife Melinda, and we have 4 people that work with us. Come on in, come upstairs.
Great.
We will be quick.
I saw your designs yesterday at Claudia Elder's
Right.
place.
Okay. Quality display.
So we'll get to see that later.
Right on. What do you think of that space?
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really a cool one.
So this wall are current projects that we have going in the office. So it's a smattering of sort of higher end single family houses like that, and some kind of more quick and dirty. That one's a spec home in Manhattan Beach, currently under construction. And then there's just some houses in Orange County. And we also do multifamily work. So this one is under construction now in Bel Air. This guy is a little remodel. That one's a bigger project, 15 units in Santa Monica.
Wow, these models are so cool.
Yeah. So these are models of a couple of current projects we have going on. So when we work on things, we tend to work back and forth between drawing on paper, sketching things out, and then we build them in 3D models in the computer. And then we build physical models of them, usually a study model. And then these are final models of the project once the design is kind of done, detailed, and oriented.
I love this little like bridge deck.
Yeah, there's a picture of it here, I think. Here's me standing on that deck on the 5th floor of a house in Santa Monica, overlooking Broadway.
Very cool.
That's that house. Was completed about maybe 2 years ago.
We have some people commenting here saying that this is so cool. They love the architecture. And do you work in El Sereno at all?
We do have 2 projects going in El Sereno right now. Yeah, so and I'm trying to do more work on this side of town. We've done a bunch of houses in Hollywood, and we do a fair amount of work ongoing in both Venice and Santa Monica. A little bit less on this side, but we're starting to do more here. So we love El Sereno and are working on some properties there, and looking to do more in Lincoln Heights because we love it here. That house is in Laurel Canyon, so we do some work in Hollywood also.
And this one's made out of foam, but those other models are wood. Is that right?
Yeah, so this one was a little bit more of a study model. So we make them out of foam core when we think we're still working on the design, so we can break them apart and mess them up a little bit. Then once the project is done, we'll often rebuild them like this. So that one's in a combination of basswood and walnut, both of those. So those are a little bit more like finished models. So sometimes they'll be in an exhibition somewhere, or we photograph them for part of the display work of the project. That guy over there on the wall is our other space here at the brewery. We've lived here for like 20 years. So normally when we open for Artwalk, we open in that space. But today we decided to open at the office instead.
So you built out your live space here and this office.
Yeah, we built out our live space about 20 years ago, and then we moved our office from Venice to here about 8 years ago and worked on this space. It's still, in transition, in flux, but then our workspace is like that. We move stuff around an awful lot, technology changes that you're working with. And of course, everybody in the office is working remote right now, so that makes things in some ways a little bit more difficult.
This is gorgeous.
But we love it.
And did you work on other buildings besides your office and your home here? You worked on some other spaces at the brewery?
We've done a few little projects here at the brewery. We did Claudia Endler's space that you're going to be on this tour a little bit later in the show, and that's a really, really beautiful building that's in. And then we've done some other public artwork around here. We did the entryway and sort of walk up to that for back when it was a gallery a number of years ago before Claudia moved in there. But that's about it in the complex here.
Cool.
But we love these old industrial spaces. In fact, we moved here because my wife and I studied for a year in Florence, Italy, and lived in a building that was built in the 16th century, and just fell in love with this idea of building kind of contemporary spaces inside these old buildings that have a history and life to them. And so that's what drew us to the brewery in the first place.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for sharing your work, and we'll be back later today.
Awesome.
See you then.
Always a pleasure to see our walk around. Thank you.
Bye. Okay, well, I'll point out when we see his work a little bit later on this tour today. Dun, dun, dun. All right, and now our next artist is actually right next door. We're gonna see another painting, some paintings, oil paintings. Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you
Happy
so
Art
much.
Walk.
Happy Art Walk.
Thank you for joining me. And I want to give a shout out to the Fetters and Pal in San Diego, and Mike Jones and Dawn Bewey in Ontario. Thank you so much.
Oh, they
for
say hi,
joining me.
nice glasses.
And this is who I am,
Hello. So this is Emily.
Emily. So welcome. Come on in. So it's my studio. I do oil paintings, oil paint on linen, and I tend to do topics that are kind of maybe a downer in as far as the content, like being Black Lives Matter or COVID, but I was thinking of an analogy to describe what I do, and that is, there's an old proverb about you can only see the stars in the darkness. And so that's what I try to do. Maybe I do troubling subject matter, but it's not without sometimes a sense of humor. Like I did this one, it's called The End Times. And it's about the end of the world. But what beautiful ruins the city will make, you know, and all is not lost because the sky is blue, and ultimately the world will go on with or without us. And like I mentioned, I draw from contemporary events in the news. So this was about George Floyd. And I try to use signifiers of authority. So in this case, I use boots to connotate fascism, and of course the clubs, maybe an armband, but I make it very ambiguous. So like there's an empty pair of boots here because in George Floyd's case, there was a fourth cop, but he was not doing anything.
I'm just going to take a second to read you some of these comments. We were getting a lot. Yes, Emily's website has been put in the chat. We have a lot of, did you make your necklace, says Dawn.
I did.
Nick says, Emily, I love her so much. Mike Morozo, I don't know if I'm saying that right, says you're his favorite artist. And then I have Mike saying that he loves the end times. And Christine says, Emily brought me here today and she's enjoying everything. And then Mickey loves the way you're capturing the fiery world. Great. Dawn says gorgeous.
And speaking of fiery world, this one I did, it's called Paradise Lost. It's based on when the town of Paradise burned down, but also the John Milton poem about the devil waking up in boiling lava. But it could also be an oceanscape, perhaps. And in my paintings, the surface quality is also part of the content. So like some of it is like really thick and layered and textured.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's so intense.
And this is a companion piece. This is maybe after the fires have ebbed and you're left with like a charcoaly sensation. It made me nervous to do this painting because I'm usually like throwing so much color at it, but this is more subdued. And again, I have some just spots of light to suggest hope that all is not lost.
Monica says that she loves this one.
Yeah. And this could be a boat, or I don't like to say specifically what it is. These are just things that help me choose the palette and the mark making. This is a heavier topic called Strange Fruit. It was based on a poem by Abel Mirapul, made famous by Billie Holiday. It's about a lynching, but again, I try to leave it ambiguous. Maybe they're floating, maybe they're flying, they could be jumping. We have
Oh,
my lovely little
the
razor
uplifting.
blade piece. It's called When the Blinds Are Closed. It's about self-harm. And I cut my fingers a lot doing this piece.
We have a question here from Dawn. She says, talk about your process, Emily. How many layers are there, or do you overpaint? So there are different paintings on top of each other?
I actually have this easel that I had specifically made to help me with my process. And so when I'm first making a piece, I turn it a lot until I can find the image within it. So I'm constantly changing what something is. And so this easel helps me.
Wow, that's really cool. Do you sometimes end up turning it a different way than you first started?
Yeah, all the time. Because the only way I find things interesting is when I disorient the process. And this size canvas is exactly my height, which is 6'4.5". And I do this as like a self-portrait into my mind, instead of being a self-portrait of myself. I did this one as just a practice at using a size canvas that I have never tried before. This was after RBG died, and I was worried about the policing of women's bodies. And also, I'm not really a figurative painter, but I couldn't find a way to discuss political things without using the body, but I'm only using the legs. And again, this piece doesn't have to be negative. It could also, someone said that they thought she was being pushed, but I thought of it like she's escaping to go up in space. It's called Escape from 2020. So.
To find the alien.
Yeah, see, and he's floating up there. But it's abstracted, right? So you wouldn't know that, but that just helps me. This.
We have some comments saying, Janice says that she loves your pieces. They're incredible. Another Mike saying, very moving. And someone else said, nude ascending the stairs to that one.
Yeah, I love that painting. This is called Happy Little Bridge to Nowhere. I did this on upholstery fabric. When the lockdown happened, I was trapped in my studio for 3 months. And I just felt like I couldn't paint, so I was just doing manual labor and stretching a lot of stuff. So I incorporated the design through, so it peeps through a little bit.
Beautiful.
This is another piece about climate change. And I sense you have to go, but I'll just show you these last two pieces. Another leg piece, using legs and entanglement as a metaphor for addiction. And then another problem with this country right now, feeling like reverse flag is a distress signal. And so I've just been worried about the direction of this country. But then we end with a very happy, weird little horse that I'm not sure where he came from, but the colors are very optimistic. And
Well, we have some comments just before we go. I want to make sure we get this question. Someone asked, how is it a metaphor for addiction?
the idea of just being entangled in something, and so you're on a tightrope, right? But you feel, so you could fall. You're also tangled, so there are these things tripping you up. The feeling like you're gonna fall. Things are out of control. You don't feel balanced. You don't feel well. And addiction can be anything. It can be, like, everyone has their issues, whether it's eating too much or drugs or bad men. You know, so we all have our issues, right? So it's a more generalized.
What if we have all of those?
All of those, bad men and drugs. Yeah.
Oh my God, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Okay, well, we'll be back. We'll see you later today. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
I'm sorry if I didn't, oh, someone says eating bad men. So
Bad men. Yeah.
sorry if I didn't get all your comments. We have to, stay on track time-wise here. So, but please keep sending in your comments, and I will try to get as many of them out verbally as I can. Oh, wow. Looks like someone's giving me some shit saying that my laugh is annoying. I'm so sorry. I can't help it. This is Kevin Flint's place, Dystopian Studios. He is the camera person on the other tour today, so you can check him out. We're going on to Jill's Time Brewery resident. See some paintings. Hello.
Good morning.
How are you?
I think your laugh is
Well, thank you. Yay, Jill says, Donald says hi, Jill. Correct. Joel, what is it? A Dole? Adiola?
Adiola. Yeah, hi, Adiola. Oh, hi. Okay. So these are two acrylic paintings that I did a while ago. They're both stained on raw canvas. So I thinned the acrylic and literally pour it kind of on a damp piece of fabric is what's happening here. And so the paint goes into the weave of the canvas and you get this wonderful sort of soft weavy thing. And these are just two of these works that I've done dozens and dozens and dozens of works like this.
And which one's Dancer? One of them's Dancer and the
This
other
one
one's
is
Many
Dancer.
Moons.
And this one is Many Moons. And this one actually got the title because it reminded me of a piece of art in a children's book by James Thurber. And just something about the cover art on that old book that I had as a child that I'd given to my own kids. It looks like that book called Many Moons by James Thurber. Look that up. It's wonderful.
Oh, look at this precious one.
Yeah, that's my Amelia. That's Amelia. She's a lot of ennui with that girl. This piece is called Saunterings and is made on 9 birch panels. And I bolted them together. So I had essentially 3 paintings and they're all oil on the canvas, on the panel, like I said. And the white in the background has been thinned a bit. So if you look very closely, you can still see the grain of the wood, which was completely intentional. And one of the things I like to focus on in my work is not only the shape and the silhouette of any given object that I'm working on. Usually I work with plants, but what really fascinates me is the spaces between the branches and the leaves. We call it negative space. Some people call it negative space. But what I find really interesting is that while I'm working, all these spaces between the branches and leaves become like little abstract paintings. And approaching the drawings, all these works are based heavily on drawings, but approaching the work from that sort of angle, I think reinforms the entire piece. It's not just a drawing of some branches, it's this whole other rounded universe, if you will. So this is a triptych, and they are 60 by 20 inches each, oil on panel. And if you get close, you can also see the sort of diluted gold, which is an outline, a very soft outline. So you get a really nice shimmery effect to these guys.
Cool. Yeah, we have some compliments coming in here. Saying, beautiful pieces, 3 beautiful pieces. And Gallo says that's pretty rad.
I strive to be rad.
I love this one because it's a mix. This is more mixed media.
This one's more mixed media. This was a collaborative piece. We called it Pendulum. And this was a work I did with a brilliant photographer named Jane Szabo. And she took her photograph, which was taken last winter in New York, actually upstate New York, I believe. And you can see that it's snowy. And she did these transfers. She put a grid on the whole photograph and transferred them in these square pieces. And we've got a lot of wonderful broken up bits and pieces. And you can see the seams, and they didn't quite line up. And we decided it looked so fabulous that we didn't want to make it better. We liked it like that. So she put all these images on these 2 panels. These are 2 24 by 24 inch panels. And then I painted these spring magnolia branches in oil over her photographic transfer. And we got this really interesting effect. And so we've started working on other smaller pieces. And in fact, I put paint on these guys just yesterday during break. I got 4 of these little guys. None of these were varnished yet, but these are more of our little ongoing project that we're working on.
Dawn says she loves this collaboration.
Oh, thank you, Dawn.
I say I really like this little light effect.
Isn't that nice? So it's the sun coming through the trees. And what I've painted are sort of an abstracted Matilaha poppy. So we've got spring and winter sort of overlapping.
Are these ones that you're going to do soon? I see some little outlines.
Yeah, I've got some outlines, and this one's still waiting to transfer, as is that. Those guys, I've got various stages on these 3. So what I do is I have a drawing. I create a drawing, and then I transfer it onto whatever the surface is. In this case, is one of these photographic panels. But I did the same thing with these. These are stained. This is the project I'm about to start. And these are also on birch panel. And I stained it with a thin acrylic, and then I transferred the drawing. So once I'm ready to paint, I've got the 3 of them, plus there's a 4th larger painting on the easel over there, and that will all be one piece.
Donald says that the piece with the magnolias is interesting, as are the miniatures. We need to talk.
Okay. Thank you, my friend.
Okay.
So these are part of the laundry series. It's an ongoing series that I've been doing for several years now. And it was inspired by a trip to Italy and an architect that I know who did a huge installation piece in Italy based on laundry hanging from a building to a lamppost and back and forth and put it all over the city. And it was just so fabulous and so mesmerizing. And to me, it looked like prayer flags. All this laundry hanging over the city, they looked like prayer flags. So I started making these drawings and taking photographs of hanging laundry, which is sort of a cliche. If you travel to Europe, there's always laundry hanging out everywhere. But if you can capture the movement of these pieces flapping in the wind, so these just hard shapes have silhouettes of sheets and towels and brassieres. They have great animation in them, which is what I have always strived for. Whatever it is I'm doing, whatever the medium, I'm always looking to make sure that the image has a lot of movement and a lot of life in it, because life moves. We're always.
Oh, I see Dustin. Let's talk about this one quick before we have to go.
Okay, so this is my RGB piece. I call it Justice. And as part of a series of work that I've done, I did a series of paintings that I called the Marchers a couple years ago. And those were paintings of that were representing the women that marched on Washington, D.C. to demand the vote from Woodrow Wilson. And that painting came about because of the last election. And then this one I did just this last March, before we knew that, before Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed. But I just was so in love with her collars. And so I did this. And then this piece on the table, this piece on the table is those three pieces and this yellow piece here on the easel. That's going to be an ode to the garden in the White House, which just recently got torn up.
Last question before we have to go. How do you prep the wood first before painting?
I seal it off with clear, in this case, with clear acrylic. Now, if I'm going to put paint, just paint and cover the whole thing. I can use any kind of acrylic. I mean, and then when I'm done, of course, and I put a varnish on everything.
That right? Says great to see all the stages of your work.
Thanks.
And Katrina Davis, the colors and the stones of her collar are gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Those were hard to do.
Jill, thank you so much for opening up your
Thanks,
studio
kids.
to
I'll
us.
see you again in a few hours.
Yes.
Don't step on that dog. Thank you, Dustin.
Thanks so much. So that was Jill Sykes. And again, all of these artists are linked on the Brewery Artwalk website, as well as Mitsela is putting the links to these artists in the chat as we go on. I see some people are using the Q&A. Try to use the chat option. The Q&A is a little hard for me to get to, so I won't be able to answer those questions. This is our next artist, Andre. Some of his infamous Happy Sharks and his Rolling Gate, which is the Viva LA. Hello, hello.
We meet again. Third time's a charm.
Yes.
Welcome to the Kingdom of Color
Thank you.
on a rather grayish day here in Los Angeles.
I know, lighten it up for us.
Great. Well, please come on in. So my name is Andre Mirapulski. I've been here at the brewery for many years now. Totally happy here. And welcome to my art garage. A lot of the work that's in the studio right now is work that's been done over a couple decades. My most recent work are these pieces on paper. They're collage. They're multimedia. These are my Corona series. These are all done in the last, and there's more too, but these are done in the last couple of months, where I'm just playing with the color and composition, shapes, totally non-objective. Just to, and I thought with the use of the small imagery, that it had a kind of a virusy feeling, that they're all like swirling, moving, ebbing, flowing, little virus creatures. And also, as you could tell, coming in here, I have a large Viva LA image on my front garage door. And Viva LA is my mission at the moment, at this time, that I've been working on for the last 14 years. I came up with the phrase Viva LA in 2006. And myself and my Viva LA team have collaborated to create an icon, a definitive icon brand to celebrate Los Angeles here at home and around the world. And our campaign is starting off actually this month with about 12 electronic billboards being put up all over around Los Angeles County. And we're going from there.
It's so cool.
Thank you. So also these sharks, you're showing the City of Angels, the sharks on rollers and kind of, you know, sardonic, nasty little sharks. But in coming up with my Viva LA and wanting to say LA centric, I came up with this series of LA sharks. And so like this one that you're seeing right now is Farmer's Market. And that shark is in a farmer's market tableau. And I have sharks in front of Disney Hall, in front of Chinatown, Hollywood, Malibu, all over. Yeah, these are actually these are prints of a lot of the imagery. And Beverly Hills Hotel.
Monica says all these make her smile.
Well, that is the idea. So thank you, Monica.
Yeah, and Adola, I hope I'm saying that right, says that she loves the color palette. So great. I really like this tulip one, and I wanted to ask you yesterday about the razor blades and the flowers.
Well, you know, I wanted that dichotomy because of the walking through life. This is supposed to be a metaphor for walking through life on the flowers, but there's always that razor. So beware, beware of the razor. Tiptoe through the tulips.
Yes.
Yeah.
These are great. And you also do sculpture.
I do. I do a lot of sculpture. I do. Did you want to shoot anything in this book at all?
Sure.
I do a lot of sculpture. I do what I call the installations, and these are really. This is what really was big for me in the 80s and 90s. And like this was an entire ceiling, a four-sided pyramid ceiling in Palm Springs.
We can't really tell on the camera that all these are 3D.
Right, it's all similar to the one on the wall.
Most
It's a laminated foam. Very, very
lightweight.
very, very lightweight, but very, very strong. And actually, if you want to shoot this piece here, this was my this was a commission that I got in 2005 of doing my version of this downtown LA cityscape, a three-dimensional wall sculpture like you were just picturing. And this is the piece that got me really into the city, and this is where I came up with Viva LA to go with this for T-shirts, yada yada. But so from 2005, I've been in Los Angeles for 50 years now, 51 years. And actually last year I had a 50-year Viva LA retrospective show at Google headquarters in Venice, California. And I did a Google Talk in conjunction with that show this year, but it's all about LA, Viva LA.
Oh, I want to show the fluffy. This is a fish skeleton, or would you call it a shark skeleton?
It's a shark skeleton.
Okay, well, I think
it's got the mouth, the smile.
yeah, exactly. And this is this a self-portrait over here?
Yeah, that was a gift for somebody.
Oh.
And would you like to get a shot of this mask?
Oh my God! Wow.
Let's be happening.
Oh.
Hi, everybody.
So this is plastic.
This is a plastic mask, which is done by a friend of mine. It's more of a medical type mask, but they're still working perfecting it a little bit. But this is my application was what I call these prickles, these little kissies, little talking kissies.
Amazing.
She's completely, she's a prickle-ess.
She's cocked up.
Yes, she is. So to speak.
Great. And so people can check out the website and you guys are doing the Viva LA campaign. So
Yeah,
everyone
my
should
website,
help us.
I've got a lot of stuff on the website, and I've got actually on my website, I have a 3D thing in my studio, a 3D.
Oh,
tour in my
cool.
studio on the website too.
Great.
So this has been, how's it been going?
This is good.
Do you have any idea how many people are tuning in or at all? Or?
Well, we have, Heather says that she loves the tulips. And yes, we have a link in the chat for Andre, sorry. And right now, I think we have 40 people on live.
Really?
Yes.
So 40 people just watched us here?
No, they're on here right now.
Oh, right now.
And Donald says, Andre is the ultimate SoCal artist. Thanks, Donald Bruce,
I'm the what?
the ultimate SoCal artist.
Great. Viva LA.
Yay, thanks, Andre. We'll see you
My
later
pleasure.
today.
I'll see you later. Okay.
All right. And oh, wait, I wanted to show this bunny. So a lot of the artists that live here can create kind of their own spaces, not only inside their loft spaces, but outside. So we have some creative gardens and patio decks that are all hand built. I love this flowery one. So are we going to see Victoria? Victoria is our next artist. Sorry for my cough. I'm not sick. She is a mixed media sculptor and painter. Oh, yay! Hi! We are coming! It is. Okay, no problem. Thank you. I love your dress.
Thank you. I love your outfit.
All right, so you guys can hear over the standing next door. Oh yeah, we can hear it in here. Oh, perfect.
So welcome to my sanctuary. It's been my home for 20 some years. And this is where I began creating a lot of my series, art series. So yeah, and I'm doing some dance in here as well, and yoga. You can see all my yoga mats.
Oh yeah, that's a good way to stay sane.
That's only a few. I'm currently working on completing 5 series, which are also installation. So you can see some of the performance art. I used to do a lot of the Earth Day works because I'm all about saving the trees and the planet and the water. And then there's a couple photographs from Burning Man and other performances that the community does. The one on top is called Resurrection. That is part of the Chaos series, which is at the top. And that's pretty much where we've been, at least revealed since the 80s. Pharmaceutical addictions, nuclear war threats, pornography, that sort of thing. But it's really all about the anatomy of a problem, and we can solve it, and we need to solve it and resolve things. This is a part of an installation that I'm working on, which is part of the Occupy series, which is I Occupy Myself. Somewhat political, somewhat feminist. But, so I'm working on how I'm going to install and hang them. And so that, let's see, I also do neon and other materials. I'm all about the materials. The materials tell me what they want to do. This is the only piece I have of the native series, which is sort of like wooden cutouts, kind of harkening back to the wooden Indian and paper dolls, but focus more positively on us and our connection to the rest of the planet and beyond. So this is part of the Occupy series here. And the letters are going to be going with them.
The letters that we just saw,
Yeah.
are they going to kind of write out these things?
There is some of the words from there, yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
And this was a
So,
performance piece.
Yes. So it's supposed to be installation, and then there'll be dancers moving through it as well. That's the way I see everything, as visual art and dance.
Same.
Yeah. Well, I started out in performance art. I did a lot of things with Rachel Rosenthal, Wes Herzl, she's gone, and would do local volunteer type things with Karen Finley, people like that. We're over at La Pomona doing performances.
I love the colors projected on her.
Thank you.
Oh, and this little buffalo color.
Yes, it's
these two are, I'm very attached to bison and wolves. You need to be on the planet. And then there's just one of my sketchbooks is under here, which just kind of shows some of the ways I process working on the Venus series, the body pieces. And they kind of harken back to the iconic Venuses and fertility figures, but with my own twist. And each one has a seed into the next piece. So, so Sacred Land has crystals in there, which are in my tattoo. And then there's other parts, little pieces of wood and things that go into hothouse flower. And it just goes on from there. And there's really 9 of them right now, but they are at the new place in the desert.
So there are 9 pieces in the Venus series?
So far.
And each one of them, you take a little piece of the last painting or
one of them. One of the pieces, it's like a seed to the next one. So that's why I like to keep 2 around at a time. That's why these 2 are still here, because they, connect on other levels. And so I just wanted to kind of show the viewers the different kind of materials I work with, which is like the crystals and organic materials, the coral, moss, handmade paper.
How did you make the face? Is that clay?
It's actually cement. It was first based off of my own face, and then I filed it down and changed it.
Wow.
So yeah, I had to go through that whole putting the glob of plaster on my face.
Yeah, that's so hard.
Yeah, you put
little straws.
in
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the first one didn't work, so I had to do it again.
No.
It's like, yes. So I did my leg and some other things too that have been in installations, but I love that idea. Mold after mold after mold. It's sort of like Xerox after Xerox, which I used to do with a lot of my collages. I'd put myself on the Xerox machine and other people I knew, and then just make copies and then layer those copies. There'll be some of that when I do the 2-dimensional rest of the Venus series. I have the feeling that the Venus series and the Occupy series are going to merge at some point. There'll be some seeds that connect to both. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out. And I do illustration, drawing as well. I teach drawing, actually. Drawing and painting. And so you can see like a couple of my, well, actually it's like one of the native pieces is on the mug. It's fun to just see what you can put them on. And this is also another drawing that I did. And this is one of my latest, if not some people would say risque, but it's really of this sort of ancient being kind of hung suspended. And it's sort of like, here's the pencil, there's the branch, and just floating, trying to hold the world. And it reminds me of all the indigenous tribes that are trying to hold down the fort for us. There are tribes that just pray all day, trying to make sure that we don't destroy the earth. So
this is great.
And so am I. Praying, I mean.
Yes.
Meditating on it. This is also, I'm being called to write a book on my near-death experience. And so if anybody has any questions or they have things that they want to share that go with that, they can contact me. I've been kind of writing about this experience and doing poetry since I was a kid, and because that happened when I was 17. So you can see it, like there's a couple allusions to that, like this one here is from that experience of feeling my mother here in the space, floating around, and before she passed. And but that's my hardcover book, which sales pitch you can get on Amazon, either the hardcover or the soft cover. And that's a combination of poetry and my art.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, and I'm still working on the other book now, which is at this point, it'll have referential photos in it, but it's not, it's mostly anecdotal stories of synchronicities and psychic experiences.
Well, thank you so much for bringing us into your studio. And the link, guys, if you want to check her out, is in the chat right now. Thank you for sharing your space and your art with us. We'll see you not that long from now. Okay, bye, Victoria. Oh, yay. Okay, so now we're going to the other side. You can kind of check out some of the back side of the buildings here. People have created their own little signs. So they are really nice. Are 6,000. So on average, it's about 2,000. And we're right behind the UPS, the giant UPS place, near the Pacific train yard, which we can see from some of the other buildings. But I love these backyards because you can see people have been just making them out of pallets, have little gardens that they've made. And there's really just art everywhere. Oh, look, there's garbage treasures, in case any of the brewery members who are watching would like some free garbage treasures. There's a lot of that goes along here because everyone here is an artist, so a lot of reclaimed wood, a lot of reclaimed furniture, and just sharing materials. It's such an inspirational place to live because people are constantly creating all the time. So that's, I think, one of the magical things about the brewery is that there's so many different kinds of artists that if you need help with something or you have an idea and you haven't really figured out that medium yet, there's someone's doing it and you can probably ask them about it. So this is Guillermo. He does laser cutting and some 3D printing. Hello. Hi, how are you? Hello, hello.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
Good. Good morning.
Good morning. Shall we come upstairs?
Come here, please. How has it been?
It's great so far. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, you want to introduce yourself to all these folks out there?
Sure. I am Guillermo. I'm a mixed media artist, and I've been here at the brewery for more than 20 years. So this is some of the work that this all, I've been here more than 20 years. So they have stuff that they've done in 96, I guess, that those sumo wrestlers, they are done with street posters in what they call urban archaeology. So I dig through the posters and I found all kind of imagery and then collage it and paste, over paint over that in oil. I used to do that large format, and it was very successful series. But then I moved on and I got into more technology and some other things. But this is recent, the tumbleweed. So I did this based on a grant that I got from the city, the COLA grant, and it was an exhibition based on that as well. And so the tumbleweeds are real tumbleweed. But what we do is that we do an installation with them. We suspend them like they are now, but in a dark room, like painted wall black and no light, and then projected, what is called mapping projection on the tumbleweeds. Essentially, people that cross in the border, because the idea is that the tumbleweeds are so like immigrants in itself, like a nomadic, in the desert, really harsh conditions. And so the people are talking from inside the tumbleweeds, and they become like as big as straw. It's very dramatic, the feeling, and when they tell the stories that they're wrenching, it's quite interesting to see in that context. So like the format is really emphasizing the actual journey. So I try to change format depending on the idea that I'm producing, and then some of them, for example, the neon pieces. You know, the neon where this series called Soundbite, and they're saying things more like direct. It's like in your face, and nothing better to do that than a neon sign. So it's just grab your attention and direct it to the message. And in this case, is you don't have the right to remain silent. You know, of course, the phrase is you have the right to remain silent, but this is all like a moral imperative to speak out. So they go in different directions. Like in this, for example, each one of these barcodes is readable and says the word democracy. So my idea was that democracy has become such an abstract component of the culture that nobody really know what it is or what to think about it. So I become like an abstract painting in a way. So you can look at it and not know what it is. And I even, when you change directions, you change colors. So you got different colors from different perspectives. So it's like a perception thing. So you can perceive it in a different manner depending on where you look it up from.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So there is this one also part of the idea of the soundbite, because the political landscape is so polarized that I thought, you know, these things that are thrown to each other, you know, are just capturing and then kind of make a comment. And there's something like you serve, so it's like a bite. So when you're talking about like sound bites, these are the bites that they are serving you through the media. So the media is very into the quick messaging, and then what is called echo chamber, and you know, all of those things that relate to the way we communicate. But in reality, it doesn't say much. It's just like a machine that is being, you know, the idea of indoctrinate you and all of that. It's not a guide to a real dialogue. These pieces here are a little older. They're basically based on barcodes, but with American icons. So in this case is the Statue of Liberty, but we put in the barcode Statue of Limitations. So all these values become a commodity, and then they eventually lose power. So there's a limitation on them. Beyond that, you can't recognize it anymore, almost. So they have different takes, you know, they're all different angles, and then there are different techniques and different, very conceptual work. In this particular pieces, they are more, this is a combination of things. I did this project for a dealer, and then, you know, it's Mylar. You know, this is behind here, actually, the statue of, the Torre Eiffel in Paris. So I took some photograph of that, and then I cut it with a laser. So it's just the shape of it. And then I overlap it with this other Mylar and these flowers and all these different papers and stuff. And it becomes very dramatic, very interesting. And also because you reflect yourself, it kind of give you a different, you know, every time, you know, kind of capture the light around, and kind of it's very interactive in that regard. This piece here, you know, these are pieces in progress actually, but they're based on like terracotta models that they are being 3D-dimensional. It's like become 3D models, cut, slice it, put it back together. And then I play with the negative space too of these pieces. So they become like, you know, the Grand Canyon or some kind of, it's really architectural in that regard. This piece is interesting. I did that for a client in Palm Springs based on the floral of the desert, Zion Canyon and all that area. And then we blew them up like 6 feet. So it's a big piece in the entrance of the house, one of these modernist houses in Palm Springs. Really, it came out very dramatic, actually. This one is interesting. Is you know, the idea of the doily, like something referred to home. In this particular case, there's a guy crossing the border in the shape up there, and then the doily become barbed wire. So this is being woven with barbed wire. So it's the reality of leaving home and then going to an unknown reality that happens to be very harsh. So it's not an easy journey, but you know, necessity and all these conditions make necessary. So, and then we got here to this series, the Tapestry Series. It's one of my more successful series. Has been shown in like 20 museums all over the United States, in New York, in Nevada, Los Angeles, Texas, and in Europe too. And I had a show in France recently. So essentially what I do is I go to different countries that have indigenous population, and then I record the stories of them while they, the stories that are fading out, because of the language and the culture. Usually many of the stories have been told in the original native language. And then capture that into a barcode, and then from there, I ask the weavers of the tribe or the community to weave it. So I create the designs, but based on the traditional symbology. And then, so you can scan it with your phone and listen to the stories. So it's a form of oral tradition, but in the digital age. This has been very widely successfully shown in museums all over. In fact, the Smithsonian Magazine did a full story. You're gonna find this.
I'm gonna show them this.
Right here. Oh, those are not.
Oh, a talking code. So this is the Smithsonian article on these tapestries that he did. Weaving together technology and tradition. That's so cool, Guillermo.
Yeah, that was interesting. And now you have the light here. So these are, like I was explaining before, based on 3D models with pre-Columbian different imagery or masks and terracottas, and then turn it into slides and put it back together with LED lights. So very dramatic.
We have to run, but I want to read you some of the comments that have been coming in this whole time.
Sure.
So someone says, nice work with the tumbleweeds. It looks like oil pastel on black canvas, very creative. And then Heather says that she would like to watch the tumbleweeds rolling across the plains. And the sound bites are really right on, powerful stuff. Monica says that some of these at first glance are deceptively simple, but then there's so much more to be discovered. So
excellent.
Thank you so much, Guillermo.
Thank you for coming.
And we'll be back.
We'll see you later.
Soon. Take care. Thank you. Bye. Hey.
Very nice.
Here. But now it is Stronghold Climbing Gym, which is an amazing climbing gym. They've got top roping. It's the tallest climbing gym in Los Angeles, right inside that building. And now we go to see William Patton, right? Hello. How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Thanks for showing us your studio. What's going on over here?
I'm working on a stainless sculpture. It's going to be all polished stainless and mirror finished and all warped. I've been warping it with the heat.
Oh, this is so cool. How do you get those markings?
I usually I'll put like spacers underneath it, and then I have a big torch and I'll heat it and just bend it different ways. But then after it's done, I polish it all out, so it's just going to be just all
super shiny.
Yeah.
And what's the finished product?
This is going to be like a big cube. It's going to be basically a table, a sculptural table.
And is this a commission work? Yes. Or?
Yeah, I do a lot of commissioned art fabrication and architectural metalwork.
I also do my own designs, but right now I'm working on a piece for somebody else.
So good. How big is the cube going to be in the end?
It's 9 feet long and about 36 high.
We have Jan Book. She says, wow, really fascinating work. What a great idea. And then someone named Katrina Davis says that they had pizza with you and 2 other artists making pies for everyone a few art walks back. And this is so awesome. Cool. So I'll show them some more of your great space here.
We also this time made a contact thing. See right up.
Oh, perfect. Let me zoom in here. So yeah, if you guys go in the chat, you'll see a link to William's stuff on the website, but also follow him on Instagram. This is so cool. I want to show this giant. I'm guessing you use this giant thing to hang stuff.
Yeah, this actually used this to bend this. I'd clamp the pieces to the table, and then I would put clamps on it and pull it with chains to warp it. So this, I use it for a lot of things, but lifting, bending, moving things.
That's awesome.
If you have room for one of these in your house, I highly recommend it.
Oh yeah, we should. How tall is it?
It goes as low as here, but it goes up to like 12 feet.
So anyone out there have a 12-foot ceiling? This comes highly recommended. Okay, great. And then we have another working person.
Hi.
What are you working on?
I'm working on stop motion heads. It's for stop motion animation projects. It's called Everybody Goes to the Hospital. And it's based
An
off of a
uplifting
true
piece.
story. Yeah. This is one of the crazy nurses. She's supposed to look kind of freaky. This is the mom. And I'm just like painting in the details right now for some of the heads. It's like an old nurse. This one's really cool.
Oh, I love that little mole.
Yeah, right? And so I sculpted these out of monster clay, and then they were molded with silicone and then casted with hard resin. So that's what these are. They're like basically like a plastic. And then I coat them with primer, and then I use Nova Color to paint them. And Nova Color is like my favorite paint in the whole world. It's so great. And it's local here in Los Angeles.
What's the difference between Nova Color and other ones?
So Nova Color is just like, it's really about the consistency of the paint. It's just like the perfect amount of thickness. You don't have to use many coats to coat things. The colors, they come in like an array of colors. And they're always consistent, and the price is great. So it's like,
And they're made locally?
Yeah, they're local here.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what we're about to see?
Oh, okay. So this is my cat art for Cats Rule All. That's my Instagram handle. I also have a website, Cats Rule All Art, that I make these giant wearable cat heads.
Oh my God, yes.
But yeah.
How many of these giant wearable cat heads do you have?
I actually don't own any of them. This one is for a client. I just make them when people hire me to. But I plan on making one for myself of my own cat Bishop.
Monica says that she didn't know she needed one until just now.
The eyes are clear resin and acrylic.
So you,
oh my God.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm used to it.
The painting just knocked her out.
I know. We have Jan Book. She's saying that she also uses the Nova Color.
Oh, great.
Because they have fabulous colors and they're located in Culver City.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Jan. Cool.
And, this is one of my snake cat paintings. I've done murals of these all over Los Angeles, and it's my most popular painting. I love cats, obviously, and I was just thinking about how similar cats and snakes are. They both have fangs, they both hiss, both curl up in a ball when they sleep. I don't know, they're a little similar. They're both cute, in my opinion. But so I started doing a series of them, and they just really took off.
So you've done some murals of these around LA?
Yeah, there's actually, I don't know if you go by it, there's one on a door on the lofts over there. There's one at the lofts over there. And then there's one downtown in the Arts District. So they're around.
Great. We have some people saying ditto on the Nova colors, and Susie Kennedy is saying that Andrea is so talented.
Oh, thank you, Susie. Hi. This is Mount Rushmore. And I sculpted it out of wet clay. This is actually the resin, so it's like a hard plastic. But I sculpted out wet clay, then casted it with silicone, or molded it with silicone, then casted it with resin. This one's not a complete form of it, but once it's done, it looks more like stone. And there's like foliage, like greenery and stuff like that that goes around it.
I don't know if we can take a vote, but maybe quickly by a show of hands, guys, who thinks we should change Mount Rushmore to Mount Rushmore?
Right?
I'm in. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, I know how to sculpt, so I'd be able to take down that mountain.
This is so cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so guys, everyone needs to go follow Cats Rule All right now. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was fun.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the way back around. Great. Oh my God, I'm so obsessed with the cat.
I know.
Okay, we're going to see Richard Wilkes, who does some really cool stuff over here with plastic, another sculptor and kind of machinery maker. Hello, hello. She said, great. Us?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us what's
Welcome back.
happening?
We got to Burning Man 2019 last year, and to a lot of fun and a lot of participatory experiences with it. So learned an awful lot. There's a lot of technology in there. There's a lot of LEDs, and it's all run off of an app and off my project phone.
Do you want to give it a little spin for us?
Yeah. Well, you know, I popped up a video.
Oh,
So you wanna
cool.
see something real quick? It's just a few seconds. You can get that.
So where is this?
So this is actually at Burning Man. Man.
Oh.
We got an echo. Yeah, so that's at Burning Man. Yeah, so I'd be able to spin too, but it's just, to see it actually in an environment is pretty amazing. Yeah, and then when you spin it, it's got a gyroscope inside, and so when you spin it at a certain speed, the strobe lights turn on and then activate that animation zoetrope panel with eyeballs.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And then seeing beyond, especially at night, seeing up into the stars, and it's really just kind of unifies the whole scene and all the people. A lot of people like to just lay down and just sort of chill out underneath it. So I jumped around a little bit, but so I got into plastic a couple years ago, and this is a piece. Part of what happens here is we have a community of people that flow through here, school groups and that kind of thing. Like to share what we're learning. We have meetups and that kind of thing. And so this is a 1-ton elephant. This represents basically there's 8 million tons of waste plastic that flow into the ocean each year from land, which is horrendous. And so this is an 1-ton elephant. So imagine just 8 million elephants charging into the ocean each year, and that's what we're doing to ourselves. And this is all made out of bottle caps. This is all
Recycled bottle caps.
all previously used.
Well, we have an interesting, someone just said, Mel and Davy Crane said, Richard Wilkes is my uncle and he's my hero. So we have some fans out there.
Thanks, niece Melanie. Very cool.
Do you want to show us the plastic?
Yeah, so then the process basically, these are machines that I did build through open source plans, and there's an organization called Precious Plastic. It's an international group that I'm a part of, and so I built these machines, and this first machine is a shredder. So basically, it shreds up anything you want to put in there, cups and other types of plastics, into these flakes. And then those flakes, once it's broken down, those flakes get fed into this extruder, and this is where the melting happens. And so once this is all turned on, then it forces the plastic into this tube and fills this tube up, and then I'll pull it back out, my little demo mode, and then what comes out are these really nice rods that you saw on the jelly. So this is all waste plastic, old Tupperware cups, things like that. And then we actually put them back into this heater, heat them up, and then make them flexible and bend them into different shapes.
It's so cool.
Yeah, and that's some of the products that you see here and some of the molds. So it's a lot of gathering the material, cleaning, shredding. There's a lot of process in this process. So so during COVID time, what I've been doing is working on some smaller pieces and still, more contraptions. This is actually a handheld injector that I worked on, and basically you put the flakes into here, and think of it like as just a giant glue gun, really. But I'm working with recycled flakes, and I'm able to squirt it in, inject it into voids, like these kinds of voids, to fill them. Kind of trying to recreate like a stained glass kind of feel to it. I don't know if we can see that. Backlit enough? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you just use this glue gun that you made to kind of
Yes.
put these different colors in
Yeah.
between the metal?
Yep, and you can mix it, in the glue gun itself, or outside as you're working with it. And I'm just trying to not use resin. I used to use a lot of resin, so I'm trying to really work with just waste plastic and replace it. It's very abundant, so we've got lots to work with.
And is that what you use for pigment?
You actually use, it's just plastic with plastic. There's several
Different
plastic
colors.
types, so you have to make sure you've got the same types mixing together.
Oh, otherwise what happens?
They don't mix properly. They have different melting temperatures. They contract and expand differently. So it's been a lot of learning,
Trial and error.
science, a lot of trial and error. Yeah, a lot of research, a lot of FaceTime with friends in the same space. And so these are some table pieces I've been working on. These are 3D printed, and then I've added in these recycled discs in here to bring that element into the work. And then this is a Roto Caster. So basically, if you want something that's hollow, not a solid ball, but a hollow ball, you put it actually in here, and this thing spins in a couple different directions and throws the material off to the sides and creates a hollow object.
That's really cool.
So I'm working with spheres in my next iteration of this. So that's what leads my process of what I'm doing, and then I just build what I need to get there. And then a lot of times they hang out, and I can do other things with them. This is what I'm just simply saying is a 3D printer, but there's no computer. I'm the computer. Whoever wants to work with it is the computer. And it's worked. It's set up with the rig system, so I can move it, really in any direction that I want to. And so the work that I'll be doing will be basically on the floor. So I'm about a 10-foot area that I can kind of work and build up.
That's so cool.
Organic shapes and things. Yeah, I'm trying to get away from just having to inject into molds. I'm going to be a little more freeform with my work. And then, of course, projects like this don't happen alone. And so I've got a really great team of people that I work with, and some brewery residents here. There's Eric and Matt, they're right next door, and Billy you just met. So depending on what your skills are, or if you want to learn some skills, you can go to richardwilkesarts.com. There's a couple pull down menus for volunteering. We've also, if you're like what you've been hearing and want to help become part of the plastic pollution solution, you can also go to richardwilkesarts.com, and there's a place to donate or a fundraiser section, and we've got some merch that we put together to, as a thank you for donating.
This is so cool, Richard.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Okay, so guys, I know that in the chat, this is also linked, so you can click on the chat and see what's there. I just want to read you some of the, someone said, this is awesome. And someone else is saying that they love this because they get to learn more about the artists than they would if there were a lot more people here.
Yeah,
So
this has
thanks
been
for
great format.
thanks for giving us an in-depth look at what you're doing.
Thank you.
And we'll see you later this afternoon.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, bye. Take care. See ya. All right. So cool. So send your waste plastics over, guys. Nicole Fournier. That's so cool. Great. So we're going to see a totally different kind of artist now. Mixed media, photo transfer. She does a lot of her transfers on beeswax. And you get to see more yards. There's a hip cook. They're usually open during Art Walk. They do cooking classes, and there's it's always there. It's like this one, and it is right here. Okay, Nicole. Hello. Hi, how are you?
Good to see you again. Hi, everybody.
Oop, let me just trip my way in.
Welcome. So my name is Nicole Fournier, and I'm an encaustic artist, and I have a concentration in photography. So I use encaustics to transfer my photographs into a surface because I like more of a distressed, hands-on approach to my photography. So please check out the studio, and we'll explain things along the way.
Cool. This is such a great space. Look at the chandelier. Awesome. What do we have going on over here?
Oh, doing an art giveaway. So if anybody wants something on the table, just follow me on Instagram, Nicole Doris Fournier, and anything on the table.
Oh, that's so fun.
So I do, these guys are little encaustics, and they're transferred on wooden panel boards. And these more of the household items, those are transferred with glue. So they're glue transfer, and then I put varnish on top to protect the surface. So I shoot a lot of statues and cemeteries, abandoned buildings, industrial images. And then the pieces with the model, I shoot these here in the studio. And they have a bit more of an introspective psychology, psyche type of themes. Just learn about our behaviors, where they stem from. So this one is called Brainstem. So, which it refers to just where our feelings and emotions come from. And the images are on the edges are all from historic archives throughout the years, 1800s, 1700s, in public domain.
We have someone here named Heather Lowe who says that she has a couple of your artworks that she loves dearly.
Hi, Heather. Nice to hear from you.
What's this one called?
This one is called The Things We See. So that one, it's about how each of us take our own individual life experience and see the world around us. So it's about vision. And all the pieces around the edge are all from about eye surgery.
And these two are in beeswax, correct?
Yeah, they're all transferred in beeswax, correct.
And you do that all here in your studio?
Yes, I do. It's all kind of tucked away. I try to, maybe I shouldn't be so neat. But yeah, everything is, everything has to be mixed on a hot plate and applied with brushes on the surface.
We have someone named Monica Marks here saying, as an art therapist, she says that these pieces speak to her so much.
Oh, awesome.
This is really cool too.
And that one's called Core Essence. So these are all individually transferred, all these botanical pieces.
And then what do you use in the, like for the black around the edges?
It's oil paint mixed in beeswax. So I'll put that on the surface for a vignetting effect.
Yeah, I love that. And this one looks almost like when you have like an old photo that like kind of gets dark around the edges, you know?
Yeah, because I like old style photography, daguerreotypes, tintypes. So that's like another reason why I wanted to use this process, because the image doesn't transfer 100%. And that piece is just about more exploration of our thought processes. And these are my commercial encaustics. So if anybody has for like wedding pictures or your family pictures, I can take those and do image transfers with those as well. Pet portraits, maternity. And I do some reproductions of some of the art pieces. These are all seed prints. I make copies of my work. These are 20 each.
Yeah, these are so cool. I have some people like, ooh. So yes, plug, go on the website.
And that piece is called Absolve Me. I like religious icons, so I love collecting rosaries or just love churches. And I could do this transfer process on any surface. So I'm just experimenting on silver platters. I love computer motherboards. I have a whole stack of those. So this is image transfer on that.
Cool.
And abandoned buildings. I love shooting abandoned buildings. I just play with those, transfer them on different surfaces. Broken wood. That's at the Salton Sea. So there's an image transfer behind that all the color comes from oil paint mixed into the beeswax. And it's all fused into the surface with a heat gun. And the black and white images are actually just laser prints that are embedded into the surface. They're pressed and melted in.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see out there, but this is like 3D on top of, so there's like little nails.
Yeah, that one I used string and nails. It's called Heartstrings. That piece, I sold that piece last month.
This particular, so it's gonna leave?
Yeah, that
Aww.
one. So I just pulled it for artwork.
I love that one, and this one's huge. How big is this one?
That one's about 3 by 7 feet.
And what's it called?
This one's
Letting Go or something?
I remember my titles. Tethered by the Accord of Emotion. Just kind of letting go of certain feelings.
It's gorgeous. And you shoot all of these, the photos here too.
Correct, right. She was here and I was shooting from upstairs.
These are great. Okay, guys. Well, we have to run, but don't forget to enter the art giveaway because or actually don't because I want to win.
Hi, guys. Thanks for visiting again.
Okay.
Enjoy the rest of the tour.
Bye. Thanks. Okay. So now we're going down the road to the Human Being Society. Hello. Madam X. We have the very mysterious artist, Madam X.
you human? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Then the Human Being Society is for you. Our down-to-earth network is 100% natural. We're better than plants, smarter than animals, larger than life, and beyond compare. Our spacious location is a mystery and easy to misunderstand. So don't get lost in the inexplicable. Tune in to the Human Being Society channel for instant orientation and lifetime direction for the being in you.
Okay, so I'm going to take you guys through here, the timeless archives of the Human Being Society, created by Madam X. And this right here is Madam X. And there's some pamphlets here. I'm going to read to you from this one. Once there was nothing, only timelessness. It was discovered by Madam X, the first explorer to travel around the sphere of time. On this journey, Madam X encountered the internal culture, who revealed their knowledge of the timeless dimension to her and taught her about the progression of the time sphere. Madam X went on to travel through time, spreading the news of the eternal culture, the timeless dimension, and the unity of all being. As time passed, this message became alive and lived and died in the way of the sphere. It is remembered in the timeless dimension, as all time is, and was the foundation of the next era. An ancient explorer known only as Madam X has arrived, becoming the first man to travel around time itself, proving it to be a sphere. Her journey has been linked to those of the early European explorers, who proved by their journeys the spherical form of the Earth. According to the account given by Madam X, the extreme opposites of future and past are joined in a sphere by a timeless eternal segment, which she crossed during her journey around the sphere. The explorer known as Madam X has brought news of a timeless culture which she encountered during her journey through the eternal segment of the time sphere. According to the eternal culture, all time and dimension moves in one overall direction around the sphere, creating an illusion of opposites, as well as an illusion of beginning and ending. Beings of the eternal culture, understanding the design of the time sphere, see the eternal history of time and dimension as a unity, encompassing the opposites in dimension and the variations in time. According to Madam X, this spherical view of the infinite variety of phenomenon has enabled the eternal culture to expand consistently without internal friction, and so move far ahead into the future. Crowds gathered at the official welcome for the ancient explorer, who has become the first to conquer the sphere of time. Speaking to all human beings, Madam X said that her journey marked the beginning of a new era of unity in the knowledge of the design of the times of the sphere of time. This unity, she explained, extends not only throughout the human species, but into all forms of time and dimension. Madam X said the new era is timeless, and that in the eternal culture will spread and unite all beings throughout eternal time. The circumnavigation and proof of the spherocracy of time alters our point of view. Cool. So I'm going to show you inside some of these little creations. Dun, dun, dun. So the cosmic being. This is an altar created in 2016. So much cool details in here. You can see the Madame X. So much to see. And here's where I read some of these. We have Madame X's own Time magazine. Some really great concepts art over here. And then everyone that comes is a lifetime member. So guys, everyone on this tour is officially a lifetime member of the Human Being Society. Yay! Some people are saying woohoo and wonderful. They love the concept. Here's a little handbook. So congratulations, guys. You're all now officially lifetime members. And we can read about it in the Madame X's Gazette. Amazing. Look at this. So cute. And here's our True Love. 100% pure. Only $10. So if anyone out there needs some true love, this is where you've come to the right place. Well, Madame X, thank you for letting us come in and now become lifetime members.
Of course. Thank you for coming.
We'll see you later today. Bye. Thanks so much. All right. Well, the trains side. This is the back of the building that we're going to go to, which is the annex of the smokestack building. Up there we have the Clown Cave and some really amazing artists. There's also 2-Bit Circus, which was at the brewery for a really long time. They still have their workspace where they make everything here, but they have a space in the Arts District in downtown LA where they kind of have a similar to an arcade, but more circusy, and there's like a robot bartender and all of these games that they have. Science and math, but then also for adults to get drunk and play, and it's a really amazing place. So after COVID, everyone should check out 2-Bit Circus. This is the back of the original Con Edison building. It also was a filming location for Roger Rabbit, and what was the other one? Mouse Hunt. We have another free stuff for artists near the garbage. This is the smokestack that you can see from the 5 freeway. It's all original, and this is actually a historic landmark building. It's one of the only buildings on site that was part of the Con Edison plant, not the PBR brewery. And as I said earlier, it's now the largest climbing gym in Los Angeles, height-wise. It's called Stronghold Climbing Gym. It's family-owned and operated. They also do a lot of community outreach. So checking on equipment that is hanging out in the desert and in the forest around LA. They have a lot of programs in their gym for children and adults, and they do some climbing competitions there. Normally, if it was pre-COVID, this would all be open and full of cars, people climbing, going to the gym to work out. And this is where we're going. We're going to the annex.
And I just found out this lobby area was all built by Telemachus.
Oh, yes. So the architect that we saw earlier, Telemachus, designed this whole hallway that we're about to see. These floors, these are metal. This used to be a gallery space called the Brewery Project, but now it is Claudia I'm gonna clarify. Really cool old paint. The exposed brick. You can see the 5 back here. This little freeway. Someone's let me know that you can hear and there. Hi guys, are we back? Can you guys see Claudia? Yes. Yes? Okay, we're good, we're back.
Okay.
We lost you for a second, but oh, we're silent on, let me adjust.
Okay.
Hello, hello, you guys can all see me? Did I single guys? Let me know that you can see Claudia. Okay, all right, we're back and we're the right direction.
Okay. Welcome to my studio. This is a blue base. Studio is in and
Ooh. Oh, cool.
that's where the magic happens. And then the space is a live workspace, and it's designed and built by Telemachus Studios.
Telemachus, there we go. Which is the architect that we saw earlier, if you guys have been with us the whole journey.
Yes. So upstairs is our bedroom. And then that's our living area, and then behind that is a kitchen and bathroom.
No, I love that there's like these old windows that are full, like filled up with bricks.
Yeah, I think it joins to somehow to the space that's next door, but I think at some point they probably ripped it off. So I don't know when that was. As you said, the building was built in 1904 as Edison's first steam electrical power plant in LA. So, you know, you never know. You don't.
It's gone through a lot of evolution.
Yeah, there's so much that happened here. So a little bit about me. I started making jewelry, taking classes in jewelry making probably over 20 years ago. I was taking classes around Los Angeles in metalsmithing, wax carving, casting, lapidary, stone setting. So, and then practicing on my dining room table for many years, slowly building my collection, one at a time. I work in precious metals and stones. I wanted to emulate some of the antique jewelry I was collecting, but I ended up, what was coming out of me was this very clean, modern, streamlined, architectural look that I feel is very, first of all, it's unisex, so I'm dealing a lot with proportions, and then I think it's very timeless and elegant too at the same time. So I started out making like stackable rings like this here in different widths and adding stones and not adding stones.
Wow, I thought that was one.
That was one, right?
Yeah.
So you can use your own personality here to put this together. So now you have a square and a circle, and it's, you know, just, I think it's very playful.
So it has a different feel to it when you add edge to it versus something that's circular. So I love that contrast. I love combining different finishes together. I love combining circles with the square look, harder edges. I love the idea that this can transition from, a singular piece to something that's really a little more chunky. So over the years, I started getting larger in scale and selecting stones that were a little more unusual. This one is cut in Germany. I don't know if you can see it with the thing. It's called a mirror cut, and it's flat on top, and it has a pyramid style scissor cut in the back. And I made this hand fabricated bezel around it with an asymmetrical top and some green diamonds. And I found that over the years, I was getting a lot of inquiries as to doing custom work. And that's, do a lot of custom work right now. And the body of work that I have is kind of a jumping off point for that. And then I'm able to create these things for people that want to celebrate moments in their life and continue their stories. So I have a couple of examples here. This lady, she is from Alaska, and she found me online. And this is, her dog Toby was a Labrador, and she was just in love with him. And unfortunately, he died. And so we sourced the Labradorite from Alaska, and I had it cut, and we set it in the yellow gold with the white gold band. And she had an impression made cast of his footprint, which we then took as a JPEG and laser inscribed the bottom.
So cool.
Yeah, so that touches her skin. And I asked her also for a hair of her dog, which we then placed underneath the stone here. So when she got it, she said she cried. She just loved it so much. So I love people's stories and trying to design with them in mind and the spirit that they bring to it. So, and then sometimes I get clients who already have a stone, something really, maybe even big. And this is quite a large scale aquamarine, which I then set. It was in a pronged setting, and my work is pretty much known for having a little more metal intensive and having bezels set around it, this center stone. So she wanted a little more updated look on that.
We have some people asking about your name and the name of the jewelry. It is actually in the chat. There's a link there, but do you want to just introduce yourself again?
Sure. My name is Claudia Endler Designs. Thank you for asking. Thought it was better to write it out.
No, it's perfect. Do you want to just tell us about this this ring at the end?
Oh, sure. So, well, I made this ring for me, actually. It's my power ring.
Can you just hold that for a second?
I wanted a...
hold it tight. Perfect.
Oh, there you go. Okay, I was looking for my own personal talisman as a reminder to live my life to its highest potential. And so I created this design with the intention of, the story behind it is that there's something inside of us, something that is not always visible to ourselves or to the outside world. Sometimes you have to dig deep inside to find it. And then when you do, it's really changes your life, and it's changes your perspective about everything. And this particular ring, I don't know if you can tell from the camera, but the stone is set like inside underneath here. And then the inside has a mirrored finish, which radiates, sort of magnifies the light that is coming out of it. It looks like rays of light. So I call it my power ring.
Yeah.
And I wear this or myself, and then I create them also in silver and in gold in several different sizes. And earrings, we could do studs, I do a necklace. And this also, this design inspired some of my clients to bring me their stones, which I then set inside of it. So
oh, that's really
yeah,
cool.
so we can do that. I can do that. And then I remember this one lady, she had a diamond center stone with some little tiny diamonds from her aunt who she loved and helped, you know, she's really was her mother, so to speak. And we put the diamonds here on the side and then the center stone in the middle. So, I mean, not on this particular one, but that's what we try. That's what I try to do is feel where they're coming from, ask them a lot of questions, and then make something that reflects their personality.
And let's just see what you're working on over here before we have to head.
So right here, this project started a couple of years ago, going outside at a park with some friends, and we just did a little exercise about focusing on nature and talking about it. And one of my friends saw this pod, this spiky, this is a sweet gum tree pod. You can see them all over Los Angeles. And she says, well, it's already done. It's already spread its seed and now it's lying on the ground. And it looks so cool. And I said, yeah, this would be really great if we could cast this. And so it kind of talks about, for me, it reminds me of what is precious. It's leaving a legacy behind, a possibility. Trees are growing somewhere potentially as a result of these seed pods having spurned their seeds and keeping the earth alive. And also I'm bringing it into someone's home as a symbol of you are planting seeds and growing roots in your home. So they're also, I think, nice gift ideas for people, like housewarmings and things like that. Okay. And I just love them. They're gorgeous.
They're not charging?
We'll see. Well, we're gonna
This is
see.
cool.
Can you hold this for 1 second? Hold on, guys at home. We have to do some battery recharging here. Everything's dying at once. I guess this happened last time at this time as well, right? Yeah. So, let me see here. I need to plug this one in as well. Bear with us, guys. We're almost there. I only have 2 hands.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. And is this charging? This one? Make sure that's plugged in all the way. All right, I think we're back and I think we're good. You got some compliments. Jan Brooke was saying Claudia's work is gorgeous. Yeah, some other people saying that they love this jewelry. They love her pieces.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
And then Yasser, I hope I'm saying that right, met Claudia in 2010 at Dwell in LA on their 10th year anniversary and says hi.
Gosh, hi.
Says you're still doing amazing work. Hello from Luna and Yesser in Canada.
Yes, I remember you. Yes, yes.
All right.
Well,
Well,
so nice of you guys to tune in.
Thank
Hope
you.
You're doing well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you
Thank you so much.
very soon.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. All right, well, we're leaving here. Hopefully the camera's the right angle. Has a lot of. So as you can see, a lot of the artists that live here become really good friends, collaborate with each other. With Claude was created by the architect that we saw in the beginning. Obviously, great friendship and a beautiful. So so yeah, I hope you guys are all doing good out there. We have one more artist, correct? Christine, who used to volunteer as the head of the Brewery Artwalk board, right? So we're gonna go see some of her paintings and collages. Taking you back towards the center, towards the garden. There's a really great place in the middle of the brewery called Barbara's at the Brewery. It's kind of like the locals hub for the residents to meet up, have happy hour. They have amazing local craft beer and food there. As we pass this garden, I'm just going to show you guys. Someone kind of did a little showing of some art. So I thought that was really cool. I saw this morning. Really creative way to use your garden space as a gallery. This one here. And another creative backyard. Hey, Koi! We're doing the art walk. So here we go. I really like this little alleyway. Because at first you don't really know that people are down here. There's actually a lot of lofts down here. Hello! Okay, here we go. We need to read. It says brewery. Yay. Monica Mark says hi, Christine.
Hey, Monica.
And Heather says hi.
Happy birthday, Monica.
Oh, happy birthday.
Hey, come on in.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here. I'm Christine Shoemaker, and this is my studio at the brewery. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, so I do paintings, mixed media. I'm also a performance artist. I do a lot of work with body image, photography. I do all sorts of things. But for this show and what I'm working on in my studio are paintings and drawings and mixed media work. So I thought I'd clean up my studio to show everybody today. So yeah, you can see on the walls, you know, some of these are older paintings, some of these are newer. I wanted to just share kind of a variety of what I'm working on. I'm really interested in color and pattern and design, texture especially. And I love seeing how the paint like mixes with each other and even the patterns and designs. And I love to play with the drips and pours and what they do and where they go and how they create different patterns when they're poured. These pieces over here, these are paint skins. So when I paint, especially like sculptures, the drips and pours pool on the plastic. And so I peel up the remnants and I make these cool paint skins. And then these little sculptures are based on food because I have an eating disorder. And so a lot of my work revolves around that. And so this is meant to represent a cake. And so I love the pours and drips on the bottom. And then the piece up here is a Hershey's bottle, if you couldn't guess. And it was one of my binge foods for my eating disorder. And what I did was thinking about the paint skins, I actually peeled off of one of the Hershey's bottles. I peeled off the skin and you can see the Hershey's logo on the backside. So I'm trying to figure out how to share this so you can see both sides. That's still a work in progress. Along with all of this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I still love it. It's all yummy.
Monica Marks says it looks delicious.
Yeah, exactly.
And Heather says she really likes the paint skins.
Yeah, thanks. They were like hanging separately and stuff, but I put them in bags and like these comforter bags. And so they kind of formed together, but you can still peel them apart. And But yeah, my newest work are these pieces, which are mixed media pieces with paper, a lot of handmade paper, different patterns and textures and designs that I've collected over the years. And I've like a circle and a dot are motifs in my work. And so I love using the round panels in these, and I'm going to go bigger. I want to go 2, 3, 4 times this big and create mixed media work like that. And then these are drawings that I've been working on over the pandemic. When, everything first started, I was a bit depressed. I was in bed binging on Midsummer Murders. And I started, and I'm not going to drop these this time. I did like these pandemic drawings, which if you could see the circle motif again, they're just these like intuitive drawings that one after the other. And then I love the idea of like stacks. I have stacks of art. So I'm playing around with that idea and what that means. And here's some of my dot drawings. And these are actually called My Imaginary Wall, along with these. And that comes from the idea of that I'm working through with my eating disorder and my therapist, that I built up an imaginary wall, which is fear-based, which is stopping me from doing different things in my life. And my friends would say, what things are you not doing? But there's a lot of things I'm not doing. So I use art, and Monica will love this. It's a form of art therapy. So, and then I went further and created like this installation of dots on, this is also part of my imaginary wall. These are just magnets, but they're, it's the whole idea of dots and what that means. And this actually, I took this idea from these. These are stickers that I used on a glass door at the brewery on Main Street. I covered it in these dot stickers and part of my imaginary wall. And then some of my newest paintings actually, I've been doing these off and on for many years, playing with texture, playing with layers, playing with color. Hans Hofmann is a huge influence in the push and pull of color, and yeah, just again, the pattern and the rhythm. And I mentioned yesterday, which it didn't occur to me until I was talking about it and saw these, but I love comic books also. I'm not a huge collector, but I love comics and, Marvel, and these actually remind me of like the boom, the pow, the whole like blast, motif in comics. I'm like, I wonder if that's where it came from and what that means for me in my life, kind of a metaphor for my life or where I want to go. I'm always like thinking about the power stance and what that means. And so somehow maybe it's a layer of that also. But I love playing with the interference paint. I don't know if it's hard to see here, but it changes color depending on which angle you look at it also. And yeah.
I want to read you some of these comments that have been coming in the whole time. Yes, Danielle Labar says, I love how beautiful, raw, and colorful your artwork is. Cindy Schwartzstein says, hi, Christine. Love seeing you and your studio. Monica Marks saying that she loves how the shape of the canvas / wood is in a perfect square or rectangle. Yeah. And then Adola saying, hi, Christine. Love that impasto textures.
Thank you.
And Heather saying that they have a temporal quality too on some of them.
Yeah, totally. Actually, these 3 panels were found at the dumpster here at the brewery.
We did pass some free dumpster stuff on the way here.
And I cleaned them up and I'm like, they're perfect. It's, that's what this place is good for. I was very lucky and I got a grant, an art supply grant during COVID. And so I restocked my supply of paints.
Oh, wait, were you just talking about these? Nova Colors.
Yes. Nova Color is the best. They're in Culver City. It's a mom and pop paint place, acrylic paint. And so I'm going to buy some panels and I'm going to clear this out. And so follow me on Instagram, my first and last name, and you'll be able to see what I do with that.
Oh, that's so cool.
And then just the other project that I'm working on, this is Perceive Me. And this is a show that I did in January, February at Cal State LA before the pandemic hit. I invited 60 artists to paint, draw, photograph, sculpt, videotape me nude. All about body image, all about perception. The idea that oftentimes we are, our perception, our self-worth of our self-worth is taken from how we imagine others see us. So I'm always thinking about like how we live in our skin, how, you know, where our self-worth comes from, our self-esteem. And so this is a catalog that I have. It's also on my website for sale, but you can see all the amazing work. Several of the brewery artists are in it also, but just some beautiful work by many talented artists.
And is this for sale on your website?
Yeah, yeah.
Someone just commenting saying they love that. Katarina Davis saying she loves that concept so much.
Thank you.
And Janice Smith, sorry, I missed this one, saying, oh my God, I love those pieces.
Thank you. I do different things, and you know, I mean, artists do that. We experiment, we play. My paintings, like I do one and then I do the other because I have to get out of my head from the eating disorder stuff and the body image stuff and the more psychological stuff. And so the paintings really allow me to do that, where I'm like, it's just meditative, it's intuitive, it's yeah, it's so much easier, or not easier by any means, but it's just a different way of creating art. And like my drawings, it's something I had to do. You know, during the pandemic, I didn't really feel like painting much, but I was able to draw. I was able to just do something with my hands, you know, for art therapy, you know, just the whole psychology of it.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming by.
You're our last artist, so I'll let you close out the tour here.
Well, thank you so much for coming to the virtual Brewery Artwalk. If you missed any artists, there's another one this afternoon, which I'm sure you'll probably explain to everybody. But I'll be one more time this weekend, and then woo, we're done.
Yes.
But it's been fun.
Well, thank you so much. So guys, this is us. We're going to sign off, but tell your friends, go on the website, the Brewery Artwalk website. We have all of our artists that you've seen on this tour and some who weren't able to do today, but are still up on the website. You can see them, their art, their website, their Instagram. Thank you so much. Please tell your friends, share, and we'll see you next time. Bye.